Good morning or good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you guys are. So I hope you guys are ready for the webinar. We've got our speakers on board. Let me introduce Ms. Mufetha Parveen, Vanessa, Krisca, and Shivani. So these are our three speakers for this VRay 5 webinar. So I'll give the floor to Mufetha. And Mufetha, you can take it away.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Mufetha Parveen. I'm an application specialist at Medialogic here in Dubai. We are basically a distributor of VRay for SketchUp. And now it's my pleasure to be conducting this webinar. And in this webinar, my sessions will be about VRay 5 for SketchUp and Chaos Vantage. First, I'll introducing you to VRay 5 for SketchUp, and I'll explore the incredible new features of VRay 5 for SketchUp. If you have any questions, please wait till the end of the session. VRay 5 for SketchUp will be compatible with SketchUp 2017 and above versions. We know that VRay is one of the best rendering application, and SketchUp is one of the best 3D modeling application. In latest version of SketchUp, there are a number of new exciting features like live component, new tag management system, and pre-designed for site-specific climatic analysis and solutions. So by making use of the combination of new interesting features in both VRay 5 and SketchUp, we can bring life to our design, and even we can take photos of our design before it came into existence. It's pretty interesting. Now the best part is VRay 5 for SketchUp offers photorealistic rendering as well as real-time visualization all in one. We know that previous versions of VRay was all about photorealistic rendering alone. And here are the new features of VRay 5 for SketchUp. VRay Vision for real-time visualization. And VRay had now improved its sky and sun. With this option, we can capture magic hours. Then the new light gen tool generates different lighting combinations. And they added new coat and sheen layers to materials. And it can be used to give extra touch of realism to our material. And we can randomize any textures and colors using the new texture randomization tool. And the other feature, global contours, it helps to add outline to our renders so that we can increase the depth of our renders. And with the new light mix, can be used to explore different lighting scenarios during the render and post-render. New VRay buffer frame also offers post-processing of our renders. We can post-process our renders within the new VRay buffer frame. And we can have real-time visualization all the time throughout our modeling process. It will give us a good understanding of our design output, how our design output will be. And once we feel like our model is ready, we can directly go for the final production rendering rather than having number of test renders and all. So the entire process of visualization will be very easy now, and it will take very less time. I'll tell you an example for how it is time saving. See, with the previous version of VRay, as a designer, what I used to do was every time when I make any changes on my design, I'll go for draft rendering it to see how it will come out, and this is a bit time consuming. But now using VRay Vision, I can visualize my design in real time so that I can avoid number of iteration of renderings in between my designing. Here, once I feel like my model is okay for rendering, I can seamlessly switch to VRay for production rendering. VRay made some improvements to the new sun and sky. This is more accurate for better looking sunset and sunrise. Even we can make an effect as the sun dips below the horizon. And you might be knowing that in previous version, we'll be editing the sun by changing the date and time in SketchUp. But now it's very easy that in VRay 5 itself, we can do it in the asset editor. So using the new sun orientation controls, we can change the position, orientation of sun, like whatever we want. And this makes it a lot easier to control the sun's angle without changing the orientation of our SketchUp model. And also we can capture the magic hours. This will help us to explore this Lighten tool will help us to explore different environment lighting scenarios. So we can generate different lighting combination of scenes in no time. With previous versions of with the previous versions of VRay, the setting up of lighting scene was a bit time consuming because every change of light source could produce very different results. For example, if we have to spend some time on rotating the HDR and go for rendering until we find the desired results, and now it demonstrates our work in different lighting environments. So we can choose the favorite one and make it as the sun setting for our final render. With the new texture randomization, the updated multi-subtext now offers the saturation and gamma variation controls. With that, now we can randomize the hue, saturation, and value of any object and elements within our model. And with the new VRay UVW randomizer, we can randomize the scale, rotation, and offset of texture coordinates and all. The VRay UVW randomizer now includes stochastic tiling option that automatically fixes the repeating textures and makes the textures more seamless, and it will help us to make our model more realistic. And VRay had now improved the resolution of new materials to 4K, and it enables us to download remotely over 500 ready-to-render high-resolution textures and materials. It includes metal, glass, wood, and even more. So we can concentrate more on our design rather than taking time for making new materials from the scratch. So with available new presets, we can reduce the time taking for setting up a render. And VRay material now includes built-in coat and sheen layers. This coat layer makes it easy to create materials with reflective coating. So we can give reflective coating to any material so that we can make wood, then car paints and steel and all with more reflective effects. And Sheen make it easy to create fabrics like silk, satin, and velvet. And these both layers help to give more realism to our materials. The global contour controls give you more control over the line work. So it will give a stylized, illustrative look to our renders. And we can give more depth to our renders. In previous version, you'll be knowing that creating contours was a bit time consuming with VRay tune materials. Now in VRay 5, we can simply add or remove contour without needing for reassigning any materials. And in addition, contour can also be assigned and controlled globally so that you can easily apply contours to your entire scene. With light mixing option, we can explore the different lighting possibilities of our scene interactively in real time. So while rendering or after rendering, we can explore the lighting possibilities simply by just on and off and or adjusting some intensities of light. We can just produce day and night effects without going for another render. And here in light mix, you can organize your lights as instance, groups, or layers. The best way to organize them is as you would do it in our real life. So we can just switch on and off and change the intensities of lights to create different modes to our scene. So finally, when you're done with your render, you can do all the post-processing within the VRay buffer frame itself. So all the color correction controls are available with the new VRay buffer frame. So to tune your final renders, you don't need to rely on any other post-processing applications like Photoshop and all. So by making use of light mix option and new VRay buffer frame, with single render itself, we can create number of effects and we can go beyond rendering. Now I'll show you how this new features work. When you open up SketchUp, we can find VRay Vision in VRay toolbar. And now it optimized the scene. Now we can see in real time, we can see our model through VRay Vision. And any changes we made in our SketchUp window will be reflected in the VRay Vision window. When we change the scenes, everything will be shown in the VRay Vision. And see, I had added dome lights so that my HDRI sky is visible within the VRay Vision. And if we change any materials, that also will be reflected in VRay Vision. Now I'm going to remove my HDRI and remove my dome light. See now, I'm just removing it. Yeah. See now the sky got invisible. And this in VRay Asset Editor, in lighting option in sunlight, we can change the sky model to improved option, so it will give a better sky and sun. And here also we can find custom orientation control. So we can control the orientation and angle of the sky. See here, with different angle, different lighting effect is getting. So till we get the desired result, we can adjust the sun, position of sun. We know that in previous version, we are doing it in SketchUp itself. So every time when we do it, we'll have to go for rendering to see how the outcome will come out. Here we can see the results in VRay Vision itself. Now, see in VRay toolbar itself, you can see light gen option. Now it will generate number of lighting. See here we have option for both exterior and interior. Since my model is an exterior one, I'm going for an exterior. And if you are using a dome light, you can go for HDR also. Now I'm going for sky and sun. Yeah, with the making change in altitude and azimuth variation, the number of generated variants will vary. We can increase the variance by changing altitude and azimuth variation. And also we can load preset of sky and sun. Now I'm going to generate variance. Yeah, here it's updating. Yeah, now I got around 6, 7. Yeah, I got 9 thumbnails. From this, I can choose whichever I like. So I can save also for the future use. And whenever we are choosing one, the sun setting is also automatically changing. See, with different options, we'll get different sun settings. So once we choose any from these options, we can set it as the sun setting for our render. And now I set. And see now global contours. We can select any materials to which we want to give an outline effect. And I had selected, and in the material asset editor, see in material swatches, we can see the changes. And I'm adding an attribute. So here you can add contour as an attribute. So see the swatch, material swatch had changes. It got a line effect. Now I can increase the threshold, and also I can increase the width. See the line effect got increased now. Please just see the material swatch. Yeah, now and also you can do it globally. So the entire scene will have that illustrative look. For that, you have to go to settings. Here in settings, you can see a contour option. Just switch on that contour option. So when you go for rendering, you can see your entire scene will get an illustrative look with a line work. And rendering. Yeah, here is my render now. Now I'll show with another interior model how the light mixing and VRay buffer frame works. I had set up my scene. I'm going to, in material asset editor, in render elements, you can add light mix option. Yeah, in render elements, I'm adding light mix. Yes, light mix is added. Now you can group our lights like whatever you want. Now I'm grouping it as individual lights, so I can play with individually. Now I'm going for render. While rendering also you can adjust, you can use that light mixing. See here in source light mix option, you can see all the lights we use within our scene. So when I switch off my sunlight, it becomes a bit darker. Now I switched on it. And you can also add denoiser to your scene. And see here, I'm going to switch off VRay sphere light. Yeah, it becomes less lighted. See, lighting has got reduced by switching off different lights. You can see the changes in the VRay buffer frame. By this way, we can change any light. Now by switching off self-illumination, all the emissive material got invisible. So yeah, here you can see it. And also by the same way, you can change the intensity to get more lighting. You can change the intensity of any light, and also you can change the color. See, now here I had chose around green shade, so you'll get a green shade for your scene. Same way, I'm choosing an orange shade. See, now the shade is changing, so we can create different moods. We can create warm and cool effects with this light mix option. Yeah. Now you can add different layers of color balance curves and look maps and all to the VRay buffer frame. So we can edit or tune our render within the VRay buffer frame itself. We don't need to go for any other post-processing application. Here, see, I'm adjusting the curve. You can see the changes within the, I'm adjusting a bit more so that you can notice the changes. See, it is changing. So you can make it like whatever we want. Now I'm adjusting everything. Now my scene look even better than the previous one. See now you can save it as an image. With the now I'm back to my presentation. I'll see with optimized VRay core and improved VRay GPU makes our renders even faster and more stable. And with all these new features, we can save our time and we can optimize our workflow and we can be more creative. We can concentrate on the creative part rather than spending more time on setting up our scene. So thank you guys. I'll be back with another session on Chaos Vantage. Till then, see you.
Okay, so that was Mufetha. Thank you, Mufetha, for that. So next we have Vanessa Krisca. So she is also an architect, and this is going to be her presentation. Vanessa, I've made you presenter. You can start.
Good day, everyone. I've been in an architecture for 7 years. Currently, I'm an architect designer.
So let me show you some of my works for this previous 7 years. Working as on concept and creating concepts for design. Again, I'm Van. I've been in architectural industry for 7 years. Currently, I'm an architect designer in 3D visualizer in Dubai. I provide design concept on indoor park, leisure, and tourism. So let me show you guys some of my work. Currently for this previous 7 years of my experience, these are just some of those. So these are some of the exterior and interior designs which I did on concepts. For the indoor entertainment area, the beauty of designing an indoor park concept is that I'm able to create a slice of fantasy where I can control the environment by utilizing technologies such as mood lighting, digital display, textures, and colors, and others. It's an incorporation, integration of everything that's what technology can offer us. So to create this ambience look that's this is the difference of an indoor from the outdoor activities. So this one is more on play with lights, colors, graphics, mood lightings. So that's also, this is just a sample of my works. So basically with this aid of this new VRay 5, I'm able to render creatively and deliverable quality of visual presentation, even in a short period of time, through its interactive and user-friendly such as light gen modes for lightings, which I able to create instantly and without too much overworking with time. Which is the main enemy in doing presentation and especially on the deadlines for needed by the clients. And also like this available materials templates which are now available, that's which like take us effort in making materials. But now with this new VRay, where it's more faster, more convenient. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right, that was Vanessa Krisca. Thank you for that. So next, who we have is Miss Shivani Varun. Uh, I'm giving the presentation to her. So Shivani, you can take it away.
Hi, everybody. I hope all of you are doing good. Let me share my screen across. Just hold on, guys. I'm just trying to figure it out.
I hope everybody can view my screen. Before I begin my presentation, I want to quickly introduce myself. I'm Shivani. I call myself as an artist, a fitness enthusiast, and also an architect by profession. I'm currently working at Green Curve Interiors. So Green Curve Interiors is a design-led comprehensive fit-out firm based in UAE. Having over 15 years of experience in the industry, we have successfully handed over 1,000 plus projects across retail, corporate, hospitality, F&B, education, healthcare, and also residential sector. We truly believe in the power of design and its capacity to make a qualitative difference to interior spaces. We also pride ourselves in this design-centric approach, creating a spark in every project that we take on. Before I tell you about the benefits of SketchUp and VRay in interior design, I want to run through the process that is involved in creating these renders. Like what goes behind the renders, that is. So the first thing that happens is we receive the design brief from the client. So design brief consists of the requirements, the expected time frame, the project cost estimate from the client. So once we receive that, as a designer, we create solutions. Now the solutions are provided. The first step would always be the concept. So we make some hand sketches, physical models, and material both, and this is a back and forth process. So once we are in line with the client's expectations and ideas, we go to the next step, that is 3D visualization. So 3D visualization, what happens is we convert these hand sketches into a digital format using softwares like SketchUp, 3ds Max, VRay, etc. So if you look at this is the hand sketch that was initially made, and then it was developed into a base model on SketchUp. This base model is eventually rendered through VRay. Coming to 3D visuals and actual photographs. So previously, as a novice in 3D visualization, I used to make artworks, hand sketches, and physical models to present to the client. So the drawback of this was, one, it was very time consuming. Two, these artworks or the physical models are not very precise. So there was always a small gap between what was presented and the final outcome. So in the current scenario, due to the advancement of technology, we are able to achieve high precision in the 3D visualization process. So once these 3D renders are provided to the client knows what to expect and also what not to expect from the final outcome. So I want to show you two of the examples taken from my office. So this was the project called Skin and Teeth Medical Center. This comes under healthcare. It's located in Ajman, UAE. So in this, we had done the 3D view. So you can see that all of the materials, whatever was selected by the client, was reflected in the 3D model, and then eventually this was developed into this. This is the final outcome that you see. It's almost the same, everything we have tried to maintain in here. Yes, obviously during the process there will be few minor changes in the design, but the look and feel of the project is as similar to the first render that we have provided. Second one is called Island Tea. This is located in Ibn Battuta Mall, Dubai, UAE. So this is a food outlet. This is the first render that we had given them, and this is the final outcome. Now why this is very important is, unless you have the precision um, uh, made in the initial stages, the final outcome wouldn't be the same. So here, because we have given attention to details, we could achieve the final result that is almost similar to the rendered view. The design process that is involved. So this is quick run through about the process. So here is a presentation that we made for a company called Mobile Outfitters. They're pretty well known in UAE. You can come across their brand in a lot of malls. So this kiosk design was presented for their upcoming project. So the idea was to create a very minimalistic design, and the design was inspired from their logo design. So if you notice, from the logo we created a sketch. From the sketch, using SketchUp model, we created a base model. This is of the form. This form was eventually developed, and materials were selected and put, and this was made. So previously we used to work with creating the plans and sections to present to the client, but currently we have noticed that using SketchUp and VRay to present the initial concept and the spatial design, it's much more faster and the clients are able to visualize better. So here is a top view done using SketchUp, where the location of the POS machine is shown, the cutting machine, the display, and we have also created the seating spaces within the kiosk. So if there's any passerby, they can actually utilize this as a resting space, and also it creates a very interactive kiosk in general. So this was rendered using VRay. The SketchUp was rendered, and it shows the materials to the client. So the client has an idea of what all materials that he can be expecting in the final render. So here you see the granite, the wood, and here the acrylic with white back painted glass, the white PU paint. So all of this is reflected in the top view. So this is the final rendered image that we have provided to the client. So what we have done in here is we have used the background that is taken from a real mall. So we have provided a emissive material to the JPEG, and it gives a feel of how the kiosk would look like in real. And all of these materials that you see here, the wood, the acrylic, all of this, it's actually taken from the presets of the VRay. So I am a novice, like I told you, so I don't really make a specific material by myself. I try to utilize whatever presets are there in VRay itself to create this render. This is another view that you see. These are the display, and this is the workstation area where the service happens, and this is the seating area. This is another view, and these LED lighting that you see, it's again an emissive material on VRay. So this is another view. So all of this is done within VRay. Even the editing, even the light setting, the material, the brightness, contrast, all of this is adjusted within VRay. I have not used any external software like Photoshop. This was all done within VRay. So like you all know, VRay 5 has been released recently, and I've chosen the top 5 features that I thought was the best. I mean, they have a lot of other features, but I thought this was like must know for all designers, interiors, architects in general. So the first highlight was something called VRay Vision. So VRay Vision is a is more like a window that shows you a render of the current scene. So you don't really have to render each scene. You can actually activate this. You can just click on V-Ray Vision, and it shows you the real time while you work on SketchUp. So if you're gonna be changing the materials or the model itself, it gets updated simultaneously. So once you're satisfied with how the model looks, you can then create the final render. The second one is sun and sky. So previously, the sun and sky was you didn't have a lot of option in setting the location of the sun. So you could adjust the time and location of the place, but that didn't change the location of the sun. So currently they have adjusted such that you can even adjust the location of sun, as in pick a position for the sun, and then say you're setting the time to around 6:30 p.m. It still has that after effect. You see there, it has an after effect. So the reflection and refraction has been improved precisely. So the rendered image is very realistic. Another very important for myself is the improved material library, because I rely on this completely. So they have improved it so much that you have 500 plus ready materials, sorry. So you can choose the materials like metal, glass, wood, etc. So that creates a very realistic render. So the fourth is highlight would be the light mix. So the light mix is an added not service, added option. So what it does is, once the render has been developed, you can actually adjust the light, the intensity, the color of light, the brightness, all of this uh, in the render itself. So you don't have to re-render it. So once you change it, suiting your mood, your theme, you can then eventually save it. So this saves a lot of time. The last thing is something called post-process. So like I mentioned earlier, even in my renders, this option was used. So you're not really using an external software to render. So once your render has been made, in the buffer frame itself, you can change the lens effect, the denoiser, and also the colors of the render. So this creates a high quality render, and once this has been made, you can directly save it as a JPEG image. So these are the 5 highlights in VRay 5. I guess that's about it. I hope I've covered most of the points. And by the way, this was my first webinar. I know it's pretty surprising, especially during the times of COVID where everything has gone digital. But yeah, I think I've enjoyed the process. I hope to do this again sometime. That's about it. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. That was Shivani Varun. So she's from Green Curve Architecture. We hope you liked that presentation. So now we have one last presentation, and this would be the new Chaos Vantage feature from VRay, from Chaos Group itself. So I'm giving the floor to Mufetha. Mufetha, you can take it away.
So hello all. Here I'm back with the new application, Chaos Vantage, which is recently released by Chaos Group. Now, let me start sharing my screen. Now, hope you can see. Let's begin. And some of us might be familiar with the term Project Lavina. It was the previous name for Chaos Vantage. Now the Chaos Group had rebranded and released it as Chaos Vantage. So the Chaos Vantage is basically a rendering application that can render a model in real time with 100% ray traced environment. So which means it eliminates the gap between photorealistic and real-time rendering, so that we can instantly explore and interact with our fully detailed 3D scenes in real time with a 100% ray traced environment. So we know that usually getting our scene ready for real time can be time consuming and difficult. But with Chaos Vantage, there is no time consuming conversion. We just need to simply drag and drop our completed VRay scene into the Vantage screen. And once we dropped our scene, we can start exploring within the Chaos Vantage window. And so here we can explore and interact with even more detailed production scenes in no time. Here are the features and benefits of Chaos Vantage. It is very easy to set up, and we can even deal with huge models. And also we can navigate and move around within our model. And since it is 100% ray traced, it will give most realistic renders. And also we can do simple and fast animations in Chaos Vantage. The other interesting feature is called Live Link, with which we can link our 3ds Max model to our Chaos Vantage window. So to set up our scene in Chaos Vantage, what we can do is just drag and drop our VRay scene. So it will take no time to get it rendered. It will render the image in real time. There is no other UV unwrapping or lighting to bake and all. And with this Chaos Vantage, we can handle gigantic scenes and billions of polygons without any problem. We are saying that we can even build Utopia with this Chaos Vantage application. And apart from a render engine, now this Chaos Vantage can also be used as a 3D viewer. So once we set up our VRay scene, that is when we're done with all the materials and environment settings and all, it will be seen within 3ds Max. Our scene won't look great to navigate around, so we can just link our model to Chaos Vantage, and we can navigate around within our scene using Chaos Vantage. So this Chaos Vantage has all the similar controls like any other 3D application. So we can just move around like playing a game. Usually if we want to show a design to a client, either we have to render different number of scenes of views from different directions, or we have to make an animation. Both of this will be time consuming, and it will take around 2 weeks or more to render and present it before the client. So with Chaos Vantage, here we can instantly show our entire 3D model to our client, and even we can show a real-time walkthrough of our scene. See, since it is fully ray traced and real-time, we can get more realistic results in no time, and it uses physical-based cameras, lights, and materials, and global illumination for the best realistic results. We can get a live ray traced view of our 3D scene with a live link from our 3ds Max. So everything we do in our 3ds Max will be reflected in the Vantage scene. Like if we are changing the time slider or moving the camera, all those things will be reflected in our Chaos Vantage window, and you can freely move around. So if you want to move within the Chaos Vantage, if you are moving within the Chaos Vantage, it won't make any changes to our 3ds Max scene. So it won't affect our 3ds Max scene. So without affecting our scene, we can explore within Chaos Vantage. So another interesting feature is that we can play animation and observe the changes in real time in Chaos Vantage. Chaos Vantage also includes animation editor that can create, edit, and render animated sequence for presentation or pre-visualization purposes. And it uses simple transition based methods. So we can use it for pre-visualization and presentation. One of other interesting features is we can directly just drag and drop different HDRI maps, lookup tables, so that we can explore different variety of vibrant color environments. And see here with different lookup tables, we can achieve different. See here the different environment lighting can be achieved with different lookup tables. And also we can try, by loading environment, we can try number of different sky and sun HDRI backgrounds in real time. So we can explore the sky and sun in real time. And also we can rotate and adjust the sun within the Chaos Vantage window itself. So we don't need to go back to a 3D host application to change the sky orientation. And we can also adjust the intensity within the Chaos Vantage. So as this Chaos Vantage has all the controls similar to any other 3D application, we can just see here at the top, we can see the control options. With all these control options, we can move, rotate, or scale any object within our scene in real time. And also there are controls to copy, hide, and delete objects. These are some of extra features of Chaos Vantage. It has a collision detection. So we can just walk up and down the stairs just like playing games. So usually with any other 3D application, when you are navigating around, we'll be going through the walls and all. But here in Chaos Vantage, this collision detection will automatically detect the obstruction, and it allows to move around the stairs very easily. So this feature we can use for animation and all. And using layered forks, we can give atmospheric depth to dramatize a scene. And also we can easily record our cameras in real time so that we can easily share it. And so now how it is more productive is that with Chaos Vantage, you can manipulate scenes right in front of your client. So there is no more waiting and no more let me get back to you and all. We can just manipulate it right in front of the client, and you can get quick rendering of final images and animations. And also it shortens the feedback iteration phase. So overall, the communication part will be more easier, and we can make the meetings more productive. And you'll be now familiar with VRay Vision, which is the new feature of VRay 5 for SketchUp. So you'll be thinking that what is the difference between this Chaos Vantage and VRay Vision? I'll explain now. The Chaos Vantage is completely a standalone application. It has its own installer, its own file format, and its own versioning, licensing, and etc. Whereas the VRay Vision is just a feature. It will work along within the host application. It cannot be used separately. It just works with the host application. So any changes we made in the host application can be seen in VRay Vision. So it can be used as a viewer, 3D viewer. And in Chaos Vantage, we can move around and navigate around. And now These are the host applications supported by Chaos Vantage. So all the VRay scenes from 3ds Max, SketchUp, Autodesk Revit, Rhino, Modo, and Maya will be supported in Chaos Vantage. It must be a VRay scene, okay? Now here are the system configuration for Chaos Vantage. It requires minimum of 8 GB RAM and Microsoft Windows 10 RS5 operating system, and it needs a Vantage license with license server 4.5.1 or newer, and it requires an NVIDIA RTX series CPU with NVIDIA driver. Here the Chaos Vantage is now available and is compatible with all the VRay Next and VRay 5 integration. And now they are providing 1 year free license till June 2nd, 2021. So after which it will cost around $389 annually. And the Vantage is also included in VRay collection. It's a plan which has 15 Chaos Group products, and it costs around $699 per year. Now I'll show you how the Chaos Vantage works. Once we open the Chaos Vantage, it takes no time to load the scene. It will take less than 1 minute. See, here it's done. Now this is how the window looks like. We can move around. We can zoom in detail into the model. See, if we are zooming in detail, there is no change for the quality of the material, and there is no change for the resolution also. So we can explore each and every corner of our big detailed model. With this feature, we can just see if we have a really good, really big model, we can visualize each and every corner by just moving into it. And we can use WASD. See, here I'll show you. We can use WASD in our keyboard to move around, and you can also use you can also move around by just holding on the right mouse button. And to adjust the cameras, you can just hold on mid scroll mouse button. Now here is how we can open our VRay scene. We can go to file, and the import VRay scene option is there. Now after importing, it will open up in less than 1 minute. Here, see here, I can adjust the cameras by using mid scroll button, and also I can move around. Free look option, I can move around using WASD, or else we can use holding on right mouse button, we can just move around and play. I'm adjusting the cameras and all. See, here at the top, we can find the select tool. Using this select tool, you can select any of the objects within our scene. And very next to the selection tool, you can find see here I'm selecting. When I click any of the objects, it will get selected. Yeah. Now using the move tool, you can move around any of the objects. You can reposition it easily with this move tool. Even if your model is very big and it's condensed. Now with rotation option, I see the rotate tool. I can use it for rotating. Yeah, I can rotate it in any direction. You can rotate it in any axis and any direction. Now using the scale tool, you can scale any objects within your model. So even if your model contains huge amount of objects also, you can use all these controls for controlling your scene. Now using the focus option, you can just focus by clicking it. It will get focused to that particular area. See, it is focused now. Now here at the right of the window, you can find light, material, and objects option. In this lighting option, you can enable sunlight, or if you want, you can disable it, and you can change the intensity. And same like we are doing in VRay buffer frame, we can adjust the intensities, we can change the light. Yeah, here we can change the color. And also you can enable and disable different lightings present within the VRay buffer frame. See, here are the lights within VRay buffer frame. I had disabled it. See, when I disabled it, it looks dim. Now enabling makes it more lighter, more brighter. I had enabled the sunlight. See, I had disabled. See, you can see the bookshelf is by lighting by enabling the light. In this way, you can play with lights and create different modes. And also now in materials, here all the materials used in this VRay scene is listed out. Now after selecting any object, you can change the materials of that particular object using material option. Now I had selected the port, and I'm going to select it. See, I assigned material to that port. Now the material of the port got changed. I'm going to change it again. See, it is again changed. So by this way, we can change any material within the any materials of the object within Chaos Vantage. And also we can hide and unhide different objects. In objects option, all the objects present in the VRay Chaos Vantage scene will be listed out. So with this, see, now I'm going to hide the planter box. See the port. Now I'm going to hide the port. I'll show you how. Yeah, it is hidden now. So by this way, we can create different scenes by making different objects visible and invisible. And the another best part is you can save any scene. Now here in camera, in right side of the window, here in camera, you can adjust the speed. You can make it more speed or less. And also another interesting part is you can save the snapshot of your render. It is like same like VRay and all, we can render it. It is a bit time consuming since we have real-time refresh render, we don't need to go for it, even though you can have high quality snapshots using this option in tools. So here you can increase the sampler to get more quality for your render, more resolution. You can increase the sample. It is a bit time consuming, but here now when it starts, you can save your snapshot. Yeah. See, it is progressively rendering our scene. So once we feel like our model is okay, our render is okay, then we can just stop and save it. Now I just saved my scene. Now I'm going back to my So that was all about Chaos Vantage. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for all your patience and all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask it in the Q&A session. We'll be answering it.
Okay, so we have a few questions from our viewers. So one of the questions that the user is asking is, can a user edit or add materials inside Chaos Vantage?
Yeah, you can edit materials, but the thing is, you cannot add new materials to Chaos Vantage. You can only use whatever materials are there within the Chaos Vantage window. So you cannot add new material. You can just play with what all the materials present within the Chaos Vantage. That one, and also we cannot edit it. We can just like play with the materials. Like we can just like shift the materials and all. We cannot edit and add new materials.
Okay, so the next question is, are these new applications part of the VRay collection license?
Yes. It's a part of VRay collection license. It costs around $699 per year, right? I think so. Yeah, $699 per year. It is Chaos Vantage is a part of VRay collection license. Now, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, one of the other questions is, will the layer compositing give the same quality like Photoshop?
Yeah, it will give exactly the same quality like Photoshop. It has all the color correction controls same like Photoshop.
The next question is, what is the Chaos Vantage rendering speed compared to other VRay rendering solutions?
It is real time. It doesn't need any time. When we just open up our VRay scene in Chaos Vantage window, it will give the render itself. It takes no time. It will give the real time render in 100% refresh environment. So,
okay, the next question is Karan Singh. Can VRay 5 set up distributed rendering?
Yeah. We can set up distributed rendering.
Yeah, the next question is, if we are doing the editing or color correction in VRay buffer frame, does it interrupt the rendering or slow down the render?
No, it won't interrupt the render. It will render it the same way. It doesn't take any time, or it doesn't slow down the rendering process. No, it won't interrupt.
Just bear with me, Karan. I'm just typing out the answers as well to the people. Karan Singh, you asked licensing options. Could you elaborate on that, please?
We mean about Chaos Vantage or VRay 5. Now, for the time being for Chaos Vantage, we are providing 1-year license June 2nd, 2021.
Any other questions? Karan Singh, I hope your question is answered. The VRay, single user or multi-user, annual, multi-year? Okay, let me get back to you on that one. Okay, give me a second. Yes, Nakul, so one of the questions is regarding the licensing options for VRay, single user or multi-user, annual, multi-user. So, what would you tell the gentleman?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So
yes, for Chaos Vantage, it's going to be an annual license free till 21st June 2021. And after that, if the customer is wants to use the license, they need to buy approximately $389, and it comes as a standalone license only. No multi-user option is there yet.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. Do we have any more questions that you guys want to ask? Any doubts? All right. If there's any more questions, let us know, guys. Final thing, just to get an idea from you. Did you like today's webinar? And if you got any values, so let us know in the rating system. So maybe you can improve our content for you. Also, so if you can send us a feedback of yours, so I will put out our marketing address as well, based on what you guys would like to see the next time you come in for a webinar. What's the kind of content you would want to see, what you would want to learn from VRay 5 and any other VRay products that you're looking for. So the email is marketing@medialogicdubai.com. You could send out an email. Let us know what you like to hear the next time, what you would like to learn, and yeah, and we can present it better for you next time. Yes, so thank you all for coming. This was great. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you next time. Cheers.